Good day, gentlemen. I've been with my girl for over 5.5 years. And to be honest with you, for the first few years of that relationship, I had massive doubts about everything. Even though I loved her and I wanted to be with her and there were no red flags, I still had these doubts and these anxious thoughts. And to be honest with you, those really held me back from going deeper and actually going all in with that relationship and building the relationship with her that I truly wanted. I want to compress those 5 years of learning and overcoming these doubts into 4 key points for you, so you can overcome these doubts way quicker than I did, and so you can actually build the lifelong relationship that you want with her. Because man, the thing is this, you love this woman, you want to be with her, but you have these doubts about either, can she give me what I want? Will this ever get better, right? Or can I give her what she deserves? Am I good enough for her, right? A lot of men have these doubts as well, and it's fucking terrible to have these doubts. Like, it's so emasculating at the end of the day to have these doubts, and you don't want to have these doubts, but you still have them. Well, the thing is this, also, you hold on, you hang on to these memories from how the relationship was when you first met, right? All this kind of stuff. And the thing is, most people do exactly that, because most people have never learned how to build a great relationship after that honeymoon phase, after that initial phase where you get to know each other and everything is lovey-dovey, right? Most people never learned the skills to actually, and these are skills, these are learnable, to actually build the relationship that lasts a lifetime. And this is not a usual video of mine where I just talk about how to improve your relationship, right? This is a video on how to overcome these doubts specifically, which then, of course, that might be the constraint that's holding you back from building the relationship that you truly want. Because if you're not committed, if you're doubting that relationship, then why would you try to improve it, right? If you're like, is this good enough? Is this good enough? You have to overcome these doubts first to then be able to improve this relationship. So this video is really one of the fundamental videos that I'll make, like one of the most fundamental videos that I'll ever make. We'll get right into this. Lesson number 1 is, there's this saying, old saying, that goes, good decisions aren't made with more time, but with more information. More time won't solve your problem, because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And the thing is this, if 2 people in a relationship truly want to make it work, both of them are like, hey, this is not going the way that we want it right now, but I want to make this work with you, then they will find a way, and they can make it work. This was the case in my relationship in the past. Both of us wanted to make it work, and so we made it work. And the thing is this, like, not made it work of like, we need to sacrifice both of our lives for this, whatever. Like we just found ways on how we can combine both of our needs, both of our wants, in a way that makes sense for both of us. And man, you fear having these conversations with your girl and figuring out where she's at, figuring out what she wants to do, figuring out what she thinks about this relationship, whether she wants to make it work. You have this fear because you think, what if she gives me like a half-assed answer? Or what if she even says no? What if she says she doesn't want to make this work? Well, man, and you have gained more information about what decision to make. And I mean, I don't need to tell you what decision to make. If she says she doesn't want to make this work, well, then quite obvious, right? If she gives you like a half-assed answer, maybe you have to ask more or ask in different ways. But really what it does for you is having these conversations. Man, they simply just cure your doubts because they give you a very, very, very direct image of what you should do. And before you even do this, I recommend that you sit down alone and you reflect on the woman that you truly want in your life. What I mean with this is, I did this a couple of years ago and it helped me massively. I had no one talked about this or something. I hadn't seen a video on this. It's just, I had this idea of, okay, I need to figure out, before I fully commit her, I need to figure out what I want from a woman. Because I just got into that relationship because it just felt good, right? Like most people do. And I never really thought about what do I actually want in a woman. And so I sat down and I thought of all the categories that are important to me in a woman, right? Important for me in a woman, like values, her family, her looks, of course, I'll be honest about that. Her hobbies, her views on the world, right? How she sees the world, all this kind of stuff. And like a lot more. I won't give you all the examples because that's kind of private, but really I thought about, okay, what do I want in a woman? Like different categories. And then for every category, I wrote down different bullet points. And not like what I want in her, but what I want in the perfect, like optimal woman. And I know perfection isn't possible, but that's a good thing in my opinion, because then that means you can always grow. But anyway, the thing is this, I wrote those things down, and this took me hours. And what I did then, and most guys aren't even, like, you might think, oh, this took me hours, I don't want to spend hours just writing stuff down. Dude, this is so you can, for the rest of your life, spend that rest of your life with a woman that you truly want. If you're not even willing to invest a couple of hours to reflect, well then, man, you don't deserve a good relationship. Sounds harsh, but it is fucking true. If you can't sit down for 2-3 hours to reflect on stuff that will help you build the relationship that you want for the next few decades, and I can't fucking help you. Go back to watching some stupid Mr. Beast videos, some stupid random entertainment bullshit. But get the fuck off my channel. Like, bro, I'll be very honest, because this pisses me off. Oh, a couple of hours. That's way too much. Anyway, for the people who actually want to build the life and the relationship that they want, this took me a couple of hours. And what I did then was I reflected and I compared that to what I see in my girl right now. And to be honest with you, it almost perfectly aligned. Without me even, like, I didn't even have to think about it really. It almost perfectly aligned. And so I knew for myself, hey, this is a woman that I want to be with. This woman fits into my life. And then I went to her and had these conversations like, hey, what do you want? Like, hey, do you want to make this work? All this stuff, right? And obviously she said, yeah, sure, I want to make this work. Obviously, like, let's fucking do it. Let's do the work here. And then men complain. I didn't even want to say this, but I think I have to say it. Then men complain, oh, but my woman doesn't want to improve. My woman doesn't want to do the work. Well, two things on this. She actually doesn't want to do the work. Get the fuck out. But if you haven't even put in the work yourself, and then you complain that she doesn't want to do the work, then you're also one of these guys who's just complaining about how tough the world is instead of just conquering the world. How can you expect her to make the first step? Like, how can you expect her to do all this stuff? How can you put all that pressure onto her without doing anything yourself? Do you think that's going to help in any environment in your life? Just putting responsibility onto other people. Oh no, they're not doing this stuff, so I'm not going to do it. Do you think that's going to help you in any way? Do you think that's literally, oh, my boss won't give me a raise, so I won't work harder? No. You have to work harder and get better results for your boss first before he gives you a raise. I've literally talked to people who say this stuff. This might sound like crazy to people, but I've literally talked to people who say, my boss won't give me a raise. Like, yeah, why would he give you a raise? Oh, because once he gives me a raise, I'll work harder. No, that's not how it works. You work harder first and then you get the raise. So you do the work first, and then you see what your woman does. And if you do everything, and she doesn't change, well, then get the fuck out. But I'll talk about that more in the last point, which is the most important point in this video. But anyway, lesson number 2 is doubt is something that's very normal, but it shouldn't be. Let me explain this. What I mean with this is, what doubt really shows is that you care. You care about this woman, you care about yourself. That's why you doubt. And of course, if you're more leaning towards the anxious side of, like, anxious attachment, right? When you look at attachment styles, if you lean more towards the anxious side, well, what happens very simply is, it could even be the avoidance side, to be honest with you, but what happens for you is you overthink everything. It's not just that you doubt and you have these little, like, is this good? Is this not good? You overthink everything. And dude, I was the exact same way. I was extremely anxiously attached to my girl in the past, like, to the point where, for no apparent reasons, I found reasons where there were none, right? I found reasons for why she was cheating on me when there were no reasons for why she was cheating on me. There were, like, no red flags, nothing. But my brain still found reasons for it. And this might sound crazy to some people, but to the people who have experienced this, they know exactly what I'm talking about. The thing is this, man. You then overthink about everything. And how I cured this is I realized that I always tried to be the hero. I always tried to portray this persona and not show this side of myself that was so anxious. To the point where my girl, when I told her that I have these anxieties, she literally asked, like, wait, what? I thought you were completely secure. Like, she literally thought I was completely secure. I didn't overthink about anything. I didn't think that she was cheating. She was shocked when I told her this stuff because I was so good at covering it. And really, so good at covering it. My lifestyle contributes to it, I'll be very honest with you, because I've always been someone who works a lot. Like, ever since we started dating, I worked a lot, and so I spend time by myself. I'm very much a person who needs a lot of time for himself, and so that all contributed to this, right? Where I didn't even have to put on a persona, but all these things, like my lifestyle, could just contributed to her image of like, oh, he's not anxious at all, like he's not needy, right? All that stuff. But really, to get back to the point, how I overcame this is I realized I was playing this hero role. This role of like, I don't care about the result, I just care about how people look at me, how people perceive me, right? And when I realized that's actually a very immature way of doing things. And so I committed to, instead of being the hero, becoming the warrior. And what I mean with the warrior is like the mature form of the hero, right? These are masculine archetypes at the end of the day. Anyway, the thing is this. The hero only cares about the result. He cares about the outcome. And he's not attached to the outcome. He just does everything in his power to get to the outcome. And one of those things that he does is, if he needs help, he asks for help. The hero would never do that because it would make him look bad. The warrior doesn't care about looking bad. The warrior cares about getting to that result, doing everything in his power to get to that result. And so, man, the moment I realized this, I started opening up about these things. I started opening up about these anxieties to my girl because I also realized that I needed her help in overcoming this stuff. And I told her, hey, I have these anxieties, I have these fears, and I want your support to get through this so we can build a better, more deep, more loving, more fulfilling relationship together. I didn't ask for permission. I asked for support, and that is crucial. Don't ask for permission. Ask for support. Ask for support for something that both of you want, which for us was this deeper, more fulfilling relationship. And man, the moment that I stopped playing that hero role, putting on that persona that made me feel so empty and made me feel so inauthentic, my anxiety started going away. Slowly but surely it went away, and to the point where now, man, I don't have these anxious thoughts anymore. They're gone completely. And it's very freeing. Now, point number 3 is very, very important here. One of the most attractive qualities of the mature masculine is decisiveness, direction, right? And the thing is, most men nowadays, unfortunately, they're not willing or able to make decisions on the spot. Whether it's small decisions of, where do we go out to eat? Or bigger decisions of, do I stay in this relationship? Do I leave? Do we move to a different country? Whatever it might be, like just bigger life decisions, right? They're too limp. And this sounds harsh because you might be one of these men. I can say this because I was one of these men. They're limp. They're neither willing nor able to make these decisions. Too lazy mentally and physically to make them. And then some guys might say, but that's because of like mental indoctrination, like programming from the modern world that we shouldn't be decisive and that we shouldn't rule over women. Yeah, no, you shouldn't. You should still be decisive. Ruling over and being decisive, completely different things. And then guys might say, but it's because of the endocrine disrupting chemicals in our water and in our food and all this bullshit food that gets fed to us and all this stuff, right? Man, yes, these things contribute. Both the mental programming and like the physical programming with endocrine disruptors that destroy your testosterone, all this stuff matters. But again, you're putting blame on outside circumstances that you can't control, that you can only change. You don't need to eat bullshit food. You don't need to listen to this indoctrination. You can free yourself of these things. You can take responsibility, or you can keep complaining about this stuff and not going anywhere. Simple example here. Think of 2 different men. One guy, he complains that he's tired, and so he doesn't really do his work. The other guy does his work instead of complaining that he's tired. He's also tired. But instead of using that energy to complain, he uses that energy that he's left, that little energy that he has left because he's tired, he uses that to get his work done. Instead of complaining, I'm tired, I'm this and this. I'm not saying like, don't say that you're tired or anything, like, but man, at the end of the day, Who of those guys will get to the result that they want quicker and better? We both know the answer. You and me, we both know the answer. The thing is this, to make better decisions, you need feedback. And you can only get feedback by making decisions. What I mean with this is, whenever you make a decision, let's say a small decision of, where do we go out to eat, right? What do we do? Like, what do we do tonight? Whatever, right? And you say, let's go to this pizza place. And she's like, I don't like pizza. That's feedback. Then you know, okay, cool, pizza, she doesn't like pizza. Okay, let's go to this other restaurant, right? Or you say, let's go to this Asian restaurant. And she's like, yeah, that's awesome, I love this. Positive feedback. Then you know, okay, cool, this is a good decision. You can only get that feedback. This is a very stupid and simple example, but you can only get that feedback that helps you make better decisions in the future, essentially. You can only get that feedback by making decisions, not by sitting around and saying, what do you want to do? And the thing is, I talked about this a lot in the last video. She doesn't want you to rule over her. No woman who values herself wants a man who rules over her. But she wants to relax in the demonstration of your direction, meaning she wants you to make those decisions. She wants just to be able to just relax and sit back and just have you make a decision and you follow that decision. And she follows that decision. And she knows it's a good decision. That's why she can relax. She knows, she trusts you that you will be able to make a good decision. That's why she sits back. And now then guys say, but my woman doesn't trust my lead and this and this and that. Well, that's probably because for the last 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, you've led her to bad outcomes. Sounds fucking harsh, but probably is the truth. Or you haven't made any decisions, which also leads to bad outcomes. I'm sorry, man, but I have to call you out on your bullshit, because otherwise you won't learn. I hope you can forgive me for this. I'm not trying to comfort you with these videos. I'm trying to actually help you here. And now lesson number 4, which is the most important lesson in this whole video, because I always keep the most important lessons towards the end of these videos, so that only the people who are actually committed, only the guys like you who are still watching, the guys who are honestly fully committed to actually making a change, only you get those lessons. So point number 4 is, you've only put in 10% of the effort that you can put in. And again, that sounds harsh, but man, I know that even now, some of the guys watching this will think, no, I'm doing everything. I've done everything and nothing worked. Well, man, do you want to be right and have a unfulfilling relationship? Or do you want to be wrong and have a fulfilling relationship? Because if you tell me, I've done everything, but you haven't gotten the outcome that you want, well, then you obviously haven't done everything. Because if you had done everything, that means that you would have gotten the outcome that you wanted. But you haven't. So you haven't done everything. And the experience that I have with working with men is that most of them think they've done a lot, but actually they haven't. And they exaggerate how much they actually have done. To be honest with you, it really comes down to this. Do you want to be right? I've done all this. I've read all these books. I've watched all these YouTube videos. Well, man, you haven't changed anything though. Maybe you've changed your behavior a bit. Maybe you've had a few harsh conversations, but you haven't gotten the outcome that you want. So do you want to be right? I'm special. Nothing works for me. Do you want to be right? Or do you want to have a fulfilling relationship that lasts a fucking lifetime? That's the decision you're making here. That's really it. Now, the reason that you haven't changed, really, is because you have this fear of change. What I mean with this is, basically, your relationship is good enough. And you fear going out of this comfort zone that it really is. You fear that either, you lose that relationship and you go into the bad zone, or you gain something and you go into the good zone. Both of those are, you're not used to them. They're uncomfortable. The way to overcome this fear, both the fear of loss and the fear of gain, the way to overcome these is very simple. It all comes down to asking yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst thing that could happen? Because the worst thing that could happen when you put in all the effort possible is that you become the man that you've always wanted to be, and she still leaves you. Is that really so bad? Is that really so bad? You become the guy who can have an awesome relationship. You become the guy that you've always wanted to be. And then she still leaves you. So now you realize, hey, this was not the woman for me. I should have not been with her. in the first place. And I am now able to actually build the relationship that I truly want with a woman that I truly want and that truly wants me. Is that really so bad? And of course, the best case is you become that guy and she stays with you and she loves you more and you build that fulfilling lifelong relationship. That's literally it. Nothing else will happen. Those are the two possible best and worst case outcomes, and everything in between is obviously also okay. Now man, if you came to the conclusion that you want to give this your best shot, then I want to offer you my help. Because I've helped a bunch of men who were in similar situations to you go to where you want to go, build the relationship and build the self that they wanted to build. So what I can offer you and what I offered all of these guys was a free discovery call, a call where we just talk about their relationship, talk about where they want to go, and we talk about my offer and how I can help them. I want to also let you know that what I'm offering right now, access to it closes in around 1.5 weeks on August 15th, 2024. And just want to let you know, this is not to put pressure on you or something, but just to make sure that you don't miss this opportunity if you want to take it. And basically what we'll do in this call is not a high pressure sales call or anything. Like I said, it's just an honest conversation, seeing where you're at, where you want to go, seeing whether I can help you. And if I can tell you what I do. We can talk about the investment and then we can get started. If that all sounds good and you know that I can help you, you know that I can help you anyway, because otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. But yeah, if you're ready to take that step and get some guidance on this path towards building this lifelong lasting relationship where she feels incredibly loved and fulfilled and just joyful and open, and you feel respected and loved and desired by her, then man, book that discovery call with me right now. There's a link in the description. We can talk about this stuff and we can see how I can help you. I'll see you in there. Quit wasting time. Quit putting responsibility on other people. Take your fucking life into your own hands. Get the help that you want to get, or that you need to get maybe, to get to where you want to go. And yeah, maybe I'll see you in one of those discovery calls sometime soon. Have a good day, man. Bye.